This is a guide for new teachers in China, especially if you are teaching for the first time. So go online and search ESL courses for new teachers. Do it because it's a great way for you to learn from people who have gone through the experience, and you can avoid so many mistakes by doing so. You can see, any person can see that. So it's super important that you spend the time in making sure that you take care of yourself. That will really help you and make sure that you are able to be the best teacher that you can be. Hey guys, welcome back to another video. I'm Smatlem Kize and this is my channel. If you are a regular degular, a regular liker, a regular sharer, honey, thank you so much for coming back once again. And if you are new here today, welcome to the channel. Make sure that you click the subscribe button so you can join the regular degulars. We are on the road to 30k, so please do make sure that you subscribe. It literally costs you nothing, okay? So thank you so much, my loves, for clicking on this video. You are probably someone who is a new teacher who wants to learn more information about how you can settle in as a new teacher in China, or you're an experienced teacher who just wants to freshen up their skills, or you're just a regular degular who loves this kind of content and you're hoping that you can gain something out of it. So I really appreciate every single one of you, and yeah, please do give this video a thumbs up, share it, and engage with this video as much as possible. Okay guys, so as you guys already know, I am an ESL teacher. Well, I started off as an ESL teacher, now I'm an English teacher. I feel like I can say I'm a primary school teacher. I'm not the most experienced person in the world. I do feel like I can learn so much more. There's so much room for improvement, but I feel like I've gained a few expertise that I can share with you guys that have kind of helped me do well in new environments. I do feel like there's always room for improvement, but these have kind of been my fundamental philosophies when it comes to starting a new job, especially here in China. So these are tips for ESL teachers, anyone who wants to learn more about how they can do better when they arrive in a foreign country and teach English or any other subjects in a school, and kind of just settle in and find your feet as a new teacher. So watch till the end, give this video a big thumbs up, and share this video. Okay, my loves, I've got my points down here, so please do excuse me if I look down a lot, but I'm going to try keep it very eye contact as I always do. Okay, so the first thing is join a WeChat group or Facebook group for new ESL teachers. Now I know this might be not new information. A lot of you might know about the groups, but I want you to focus in on groups that actually share resources for new ESL teachers when it comes to classroom resources. I know that there are groups that help with daily living, groups that will get you kind of information about how to get VPN and things like that, but this group that you want to look for is groups that teachers actually share information about resources, PPTs, strategies in the classroom. So be intentional about these groups. It's obviously going to take a lot of sieving through, but you need to really spend time going through Facebook groups. There are multiple ESL groups on Facebook. And then when you move to a new city, for example, in China, ask your colleagues, hey, is there a group in the area for teachers in the area or in the province or in the city? Like, for example, we have a group here for all the South Africans in Jiangsu, and that group is not only for sharing information about visas and work permits and things like that. People sometimes share PPTs, people share games, people help people out. So this is a great way for you to get some community and kind of connect with people who are in the same shoes as you, especially new teachers. If you're feeling kind of nervous about joining a new school and you want to come with new ideas, you can get some ideas from them in the groups. So yeah, these are a great way to build community and learn from each other. Okay, so the next point is to attend webinars and professional development seminars, or courses rather. So this is something that I feel like, once again, you're going to really need to be intentional about. But I think especially if you're someone who is not a qualified teacher, you need to get as much knowledge from different sources. And there's plenty of platforms that are free where you can get information and get yourself equipped about teaching ESL and professional development, getting strategies to ensure that your classes are better and you are hitting your KPIs at work. So there are plenty of platforms that are shared on WeChat groups, but also go online and search ESL courses for new teachers, free ESL courses for new teachers, and build your CV up, build your skills up. Don't be complacent and say, okay, I've got the job now, I can relax. It's still a very competitive market even whilst you're in the job. So do make sure that you do that, so in order to give you that edge, you know what I mean? So the third point is to observe more experienced teachers in your school. Now, I've mentioned this multiple times. I feel like this is something that can be a lot of like a mistake that a lot of teachers make, where they feel like they are stepping on people's toes if they go observe their classes. But honestly, most of the time people are really open to having you sit in the class, and people are always open to, like, well, let me talk for myself. I'm super open about sharing information. I love that people value my opinion. So if you come to me and you ask for my help, I will definitely help you. You know what I mean? I'm not going to be gatekeeping information. I'm trying to make sure that we all win. So ask people at work, your experienced teachers, and ask them, hey, can I come observe your class? I really want to get better and I want to see what you're doing. And so those kind of channels will really help you to see how things are done at school, but also to learn from more seasoned teachers. Finding a mentor is also another way you can take it a step further. This is something that you can find on the groups as well, the WeChat groups or the Facebook ESL groups. Some people are really, some professionals, some educators who have been in the field for a long time, don't mind taking some younger teachers under their wings and kind of helping them through the way. I know that would have been such an amazing thing for me when I started, to have someone kind of help me and guide me through it. So if you can find someone who's willing to mentor you, absolutely do it. So if you can find someone who can agree to mentoring you and has the time and the patience, I say go ahead and do it, because it's a great way for you to learn from people who have gone through the experience, and you can avoid so many mistakes by doing so. All right, the next thing I want to chat about is making sure that you know what your KPIs are. So KPIs are key performance indicators. Some schools call them your objectives for your year. So your learning objectives rather. So this is something that you need to talk to your principal about, or your coordinator about, and kind of talk to them about what are the major things that you want me to be able to achieve by the end of this year, or the things that you want me to achieve by the end of this year. This will also give you more of an understanding of your job, and so you know what kind of things you need to curate in your classroom to make sure that your kids are achieving these outcomes. I feel like sometimes when you are going into a space and it's unknown and you don't know what is expected of you, you kind of want to do everything, and then you end up losing yourself and not actually, gaining anything or actually helping the kids at the end. So I feel like if you have a clear understanding of what is expected of you, you're going to be able to hit your goals, and you're going to be able to curate your classrooms and help your kids to learn and achieve whatever learning objectives that have been set by the school. So obviously some schools have some key objectives or key outcomes in terms of exams and things like that. We have different formative and summative assessments. If you're working for a kindergarten where there isn't a lot of pressure, but I feel like it's important for you to, still make sure that your kids learn something, I would say create your own and kind of present it to them and say, okay, you don't have anything set in stone, but here's what I suggest, and kind of have the school and everyone working hand in hand to understand that this is where we're going with the kids. If we want the kids to learn high frequency words about farms, about their body, about this or that, have that listed out for them. I mean, if there's nothing set in stone, you must be the person that will create that for the school. That will give you edge, and that will give you kind of the thing that the school, needs. And so that is always important, Another thing I want to chat about, the fifth point, is don't compare yourself to other teachers. Focus on one thing. Okay, so I know a lot of times when you are moving to a new country, especially when I came here, I really just wanted to make sure that I keep my job and I do what is expected of me. And I kind of started looking at other teachers and figuring out what can I do to match what they are doing or do it even better. I think that was a horrible mentality to have at the beginning, because we're not the same people. We all have different teaching styles. And, I feel like at the end of the year, I felt like I didn't actually learn something, or didn't learn to do something well, because I was trying to do 10 different things, So I would say, focus on one or two things that you want to be able to do well at the end of the year with your kids. For example, for me, once I, made that big mistake, the following year I was like, okay, I'm going to focus on class management, and I'm going to focus on making sure that my lesson plans are clear, and I provide, some good games and resources for the kids. So those are the two things you can focus on, your classroom management, making sure that your class has procedures, the kids know what is expected of them, they know, what are the rewards and what are the things that take away rewards, and as well as for you to have a kind of calm learning environment. Like, focus on building that, and that will be the good foundation that you need to build up any other learning skills that you want to add on. And Another thing was lesson plans. I wanted to be organized. I wanted to be someone who is the teacher that is known that to always have their things ready on time. And so those are the two things that I focused on, So you should do that. Choose two, three things that okay, these are things I'm going to focus on. Don't compare yourself to other teachers in the sense that you're going to get into their classroom like, they've got such a cool reward system. They've got such nice decorations. They have such nice games. And you want to do everything. Maybe your first year you focus on classroom management and lesson plans. Second year you focus on your games in the classroom and activities. The next year you focus on differentiation and challenging your higher ability students. Whatever the case may be, like focus on a skill that can help you be a better teacher and not try to do everything at once, because you're gonna be tired. This job is so demanding. Do not try to do a lot of things at once. Like I said, it also ties into what I said before, that understanding what your key performance indicators are, understanding that what you need to do, what is expected of you at your job, All right, the next thing I want to chat about is to build rapport with your students. Now, this is obviously something that I feel like we all should do. It should be unsaid. It shouldn't be said, rather. But a lot of the times you find that some teachers just feel like, okay, I'm going to walk and do my job and go. I don't need to be friendly with anyone. I don't need to do anything with anyone. So you really need to build rapport with your students. You need to build rapport with your homeroom teachers, your co-teachers, your colleagues. You really need to take the time to do that, because number one, most of the time, if you don't, it's going to be a really, really tough time for you, because you need everyone, every single person or entity or person in your school. We all work together in order to achieve these things. And so if you are not kind and friendly to people are not going to be open to helping you. I think also with the kids, they pick up on energy. They pick up on someone who's not present. So you really need to take the time to do that and tell yourself, like, I need to also be someone who's open to learning the kids' names. I think one of the things that as teachers we need to take seriously is learn the kids' names. And so even if it means the first 2 weeks of your first month at the school, your kids are wearing name tags every single lesson, you do that. You need to know your kids' names. You need to know your colleagues' names, know your homeroom teachers' names, chat to them, be friendly. Don't be in a box, because really it's going to be very difficult for you while teaching. You know what I mean? So do that, man. Establish some intentional relationships at school. Another thing I want to talk about, the 7th point, is spend time diagnosing what level your students are. Now, this is something that some schools do already and some don't. But take the time to do some level tests with your kids so that you know which students need what activities and what level your classroom is at, or what level your students are at. I think as teachers, sometimes we think that every single kid learns the same way. And because you've been given a group of kids, you think that the school has kind of done the diagnosis for you and they've placed this group together specifically. Some of the time they just throw in kids together in a group and they're like, okay, teach them, And so when you don't know where the kids are starting from, you're never going to be able to get them to another point, because you're going to be having so many detours that are so unexpected because you didn't know what to expect, So it's so important for you to do some diagnosis tests, even if it takes you the first 2 weeks of your lessons and you don't actually have classes, but you have diagnosis tests, reading diagnosis, writing, spelling, all these kind of things that you need to understand your students better. That will help you. I've been fortunate enough to have a school that already has done that, because the kids have been with us from grade 1, some even before kindergarten. During kindergarten. So, but we do have new students that are just thrown into the classroom, and we kind of need to diagnose where they're at, fit them into a group in terms of when it comes to leveled activities, and also find ways to challenge them to get them out of that group into a higher group. So it's so important to work together with your school in that element. So if you are someone who doesn't know where to start to look for level tests, I've got one here called learnenglishbritishcouncil.org. learnenglishbritishcouncil.org. That's a mouthful. They have some free level tests for students, different age groups. Check it out. It's a great way for you to diagnose your students. All right, and then the last one I want to chat about is making time for yourself. Now, this work that we do, honey, is super, super physical in terms of you get tired. It's a lot of work, as well as mentally tiring as well. So you're not at home. You're in a different country. You are expected to work really hard the holidays are far apart. It's just a lot. So make time for yourself during the weekends. Curate self-care, curate pouring into yourself so that you can pour into other people. Teach your colleagues and your kids can actually see when someone is just like a walking empty vessel. You can see, any person can see that. So it's super important that you spend the time in making sure that you take care of yourself. That will really, really help you and make sure that you are able to be the best teacher that you can be. Okay, so yeah, guys, those are the points that I wanted to share with you. It's 8 simple points for new teachers. Let me know if you guys enjoyed this video. I think I want to do more in-depth videos about the points that I spoke about, especially when it comes to moving to China or any other country. I feel like as an ESL teacher, just getting adapted and getting settled in and making sure that you thrive and you do well in the new spaces that you're in. Thank you so much for watching this video, and give this video a big thumbs up. I will see you guys in the next video. Mwah.